What's up? Brandon and Jeremy here from friendofourc.com giving you our review of the new hot super sexy Losi 4-wheel drive short course truck. So as with all our reviews, we go through some main issues like technical, cost of operation, durability, value, and performance. But to start off with the boring stuff, the technical, while I take off the shell, Brandon.
Well, biggest thing that we noticed with this guy, it's called a 10 scale, but really, as you'll see here, it's set up exactly like an A scale. You got A scale chassis set up, A scale looking arms. The whole thing screams A scale. You got to run an A scale motor on it, or at least a 550 can motor. And really, that some people that might be a good thing, some people that might be a bad thing from a cost perspective, but we loved it. You can take it on our local track that only allows 10 scales, and really it performs like an A scale.
Yeah, in terms of the technical side of it, as a casual basher, I loved all the value that you get with the roller. It was like Losi just figured it out that people that really want to dominate with their short course truck, especially the 4-wheel drive, give them a roller, give them some high-end stuff. Like I've always thought Losi's brought to the table some pretty good suspension and good value. Obviously, with the Spectrum merger or owning Spectrum or Spectrum owning them, they're ready to run stuff.
Yeah,
comes with better receivers than like most ready to run kits do. But for the Losi 4x4, flat out on the technical side, other than what you mentioned, there's not a lot to complain about. There's a little bit of an annoyance with the way the receiver box is laid out, if I remember correct during the build. Just the way it's such a ticky-tack thing.
Yeah.
I can't. What were you talking about with that? I can't.
The receiver box. Well, they got a two-piece design where you got the main battery or main box that comes off with a body clip, but then they got this little latch here you got to take off with screws. And really, if you got to change anything, it's just a pain to reach the little clip. And they could have made that a little simpler. But that being one of the only few complaints, it's a great truck otherwise.
Other than that, you've got the threaded shocks and kind of a wide open layout with the motor and the pinion gear being exposed. I don't know how I feel about that as a casual basher. Well, a full-on basher, more casual racer. Like, it makes me a little nervous, but all in all, other than the awesome mud flaps, the technical side of things, I was good with. In terms of cost of operation and durability, you've got the same troubles you normally do with Losi, right? So if you don't have Losi parts available at your local shop, you've got kind of that tax to pay to get into Losi, where you buy something like this, you're going to want to make sure you get stuff like stub axles and A-arms ahead of time if you don't have them readily available. So it's a little annoying. Durability, other than my only thing was the bumpers. I thought, they'd probably be fine for your typical 10th scale. With all the weight that this unit carries, they couldn't handle it. They bent and broke and everything else.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I was a little surprised at how dinky they look. They're just kind of underwhelming. When you open the box, you see this huge truck all set up base scale and these tiny little bumpers. I mean, the slash bumpers are beefier than this, and this thing weighs 1.5 pounds more. So, I think that really, they could have done a little better there. I mean, if you're bashing it hard, you probably run into a problem with it, but we'll see. Hopefully someone comes out with aftermarket parts.
Yeah, in terms of, comparing it to the Slash 4x4, it's kind of like when I got my Slash, I was like, oh, automatic, that RPM bundle pack, right? A-arms, bumpers, Nerf bars. I think you'd be doing a similar mod here with the Losi 4x4.
Yep.
Other than that, no durability issues that I remember.
Nothing that stopped us,
right?
That's for sure. I mean, we beat it pretty hard and nothing has ended our day.
Yeah, I thought I remember something weird with the way the shell fit on, but I think it was just because I didn't really take the time to adjust these. Now that we've been shooting the more bashing videos, like for RCNightmare.com, it's become kind of important that you get those little plastic rings, the body savers or whatever.
Yeah, the body washers.
Yeah, it's really a nuisance. It's like a 2-minute thing. It probably comes with it if I remember right, and just take your time. The other thing, sorry to go back to the technical, but I thought the battery layout was not super ideal in terms of if you're going to run this kit, you're running two S lipos or at least one 4S lipo, right? Yeah. So it was kind of a pain in the butt to fit them in, but other than that, pretty good.
Yeah, it could have been a little deeper.
Yeah,
most people like to see if the walls of the battery box come up a little bit farther, you get a little more support, a little more cradling, but at least they give you the nice Velcro straps. It worked out all right.
Yeah. Now, in terms of fun factor, this thing dominated. I thought, it was super predictable in the air, super fast with the 4-pole that we have in there with the the Mamba Max Pro Short Course truck, ESC and motor combo that we got in here. It's almost like the perfect setup.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, the torque is unbelievable. I mean, the thing doesn't hesitate to get up to speed. You don't feel the extra weight of this being like an A-scale setup. It was very nimble, very predictable. I loved it. I mean, it's my favorite all-wheel drive short course by far to date to drive. If you own a Slash 4x4, you'd love one of these.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I got when we were shooting it. I mean, I think you were really the first one to drive it, and you were just like, holy crap, this thing is super sweet. And we've got the SC10 4x4 sitting over there in a box, but just there's no way it's going to compete with this. I mean, this, in my opinion, is the most fun, the most durable, and the best performing short course truck out there in terms of all-wheel drive.
And that's being reflected at the local track too. At least our track, these are what are dominating right now with the setup that guys are running, especially with this motor. Seems to be the hot setup.
Now, in terms of value, here's where you kind of get a little dicey, right? Because the roller, for everything that you get, the price you pay, awesome value. But the negative of having kind of this A-scale packed into a 10-scale layout is that you're spending A-scale money on electronics like your ESC and motor combo and your steering servo. You're going to want to spend the money. We're running the Team Associated XP Digital steering servo. It's the same one I actually run in the Slash 4x4 in terms of racing. But you know, you're spending a little bit more coin to get your max value. In addition, you're running 4S.
Yeah.
You know, you're not running this thing on 3S. You're not gonna reach its full potential, right?
Yeah, don't be fooled. I mean, you'd be probably pretty disappointed if, let's say, you own a Slash 4x4 or even a two-wheel drive, and you figure, oh, I'll just throw the system from that onto this guy. It's still 10 scale. You'd be pretty disappointed. It'd be very slow, really underwhelming again. So yeah, you gotta dish out the cash for some A-scale products.
Yeah, which leads into the performance. Now, if I take out the electronics and we just look at the performance of the kit, awesome, right? Super predictable. You know, fairly, other than the bumpers, very durable. You know, it just was awesome in terms of performance.
Out of the box setup. I mean, we didn't touch the suspension on this thing, and the handling is just superb. I mean, if you're someone just getting into it, you're not sure, you want to get a higher end kit to take on the track, get this guy.
Yeah, the Losi 4x4, man, it's you know, they're a little up and down in terms of, you know, you'll never find more polarized fans than Losi, right? Because some of their stuff people just hate. Some of their stuff people actually really, really like. You know, you get into some people really get into their truggies, and obviously the 4x4 short course truck. But you go back and look at the Strike, what they threw out to compete with the Slash people. People are not very happy.
Yeah. To the Losi fans, this is a winner. This is a point for them.
It's a winner for sure. And if you're a local hobby shop or you have, you know, cheap parts available relatively locally, it's a home run. Now, in terms of the Bill and Ted perspective, would I go back in time? Me, absolutely. The only thing that I would change is I probably would have made sure I bought it right away when it came out.
When the moment it released?
Yeah.
Get it sooner?
Yeah, I would have pre-ordered this thing. Like,
knowing after you run it.
Yeah, I don't pre-order really, you know, either for Friend of RC or, you know, when we order stuff for RC Nightmare, we don't pre-order.
Yeah.
Just kind of let it hit the market.
Whatever's
but
hot.
This thing dominates, and it's going to be a formidable foe on the track. So I'd definitely go and rebuy it. How about you?
Yeah, I'd buy this before my Slash 4x4. Now knowing what I know now, I'd buy it again in a heartbeat and probably sell my Slash to afford it.
Yeah, I mean, it's important to keep in mind, you know, like Traxxas came out with their Slash how many years before anyone else came.
Yeah.
So it's really tough for me to compare it to the Slash because that thing's like 3 years old.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
You know,
it's more of a basher. It's more oriented to beating on it. They do run them on the track, but it's not as competitive out of the box. I mean, really, Traxxas set the pace, and all these companies are answering and fine-tuning it and exploring the limitations of all-wheel drive 10 scale, and this is kind of like the ultimate byproduct of that.
Yeah, it's easy to compare it against something that's 3 years old and say it's better.
Yeah.
It's like buying a, you know, HD projection TV and then buying an HD plasma and saying it's better and being surprised it's better, right? So this is everyone else catching up. You know, Traxxas had their chance probably to re-release the Slash and upgrade it a little bit rather than break it up in all different kits. But overall, the Losi 4x4 truck, short course truck, is a rebuy. It's really a 5-star from the team here at RC.
5 out of 5 for sure.
Yeah, and the team here at Friend of RC and RC Nightmare absolutely love this truck. This one is going to stay in our collection, and should we get involved in some true race, race classes other than just bashing, this will be the one we run, no doubt.
Yep, for sure.
All right, so that's our review of the Losi TEN-SCTE. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them down below in the comments, or shoot over our website at friendovrc.com, or join the conversation at the RC Nightmare forums at rcnightmare.com. Thanks and have a great day.
See you guys soon.